Hey guys, I want to talk to you about how life can be really difficult for people who have mental health disorders, specifically people who identify as being neurodivergent. And the reason for that is because, well, first of all, if you fall under the categories of having ADHD or autism, or even believe that you do, and if you've ever felt like you don't fit in, and you've just kind of been ostracized your entire life because you feel like you're different than others, the reason that things might be so difficult for you is because I feel like the people that fit under this neurodivergent category experience life a lot differently than, I guess, ordinary or other people do. And the reason for that is because people who are neurodivergent are very deeply emotional in a way where they experience so much more depth in things. So if you've ever had like difficulty focusing on a task or getting as much done as other people, that's because when you're working on something, you're seeing so much more in it than other people might be. So let me give you the example of like working on a certain task. So like for me, when I'm working on a task at work, that task has a lot of other things that are related to it. It could be like 10, 15, I don't know, 50, 100 different things related to it. So my mind has a way of branching off and becoming aware of all of these things that are either directly or indirectly related to it. And those things that I'm becoming aware of may or may not be important. But the thing is, my mind has a lot of trouble not recognizing those things. And then because I'm, like becoming aware of all of those things, that is taking up a lot of mental capacity within my mind. And it's making it hard to focus on that specific task because my energy is kind of going all over the place. So I'm becoming aware of all of these different things and I'm having difficulty bringing my focus back to the thing that's important. I might know that these things are not important in my mind, but it's difficult for me to bring myself back to my center and bring myself back to my focus. I think naturally what happens is neurodivergent people just, experience stuff so deeply and then become aware of all of the things that that thing is connected to, again, whether it's important or not. And that can be a really powerful skill because if you're able to hone that and fine tune it, what you can actually do is, be able to see the things that other people around you might not. Like a lot of the little nuanced details that make up a certain thing that you're working on or trying to create or trying to complete might become, evident to you, whereas other people might not see those things. So I think the difficulty with neurodivergent people is, number one, that we experience things so deeply, but like for a lot of us, it's gone untrained. We have gone misunderstood for so long, and because we're so different, people just thought something was wrong with us. So from my experience, and I'm guessing this is the same for a lot of neurodivergent people that have like mental health struggles, it's the fact that we're so different, but we have been expected to be the way that the other people around us have wanted us to be, and like they don't understand what we are. Like our abilities and our talents are foreign to them. So like those of us that struggle and like haven't gotten help with these things, it might be the fact that like the people around us just didn't know how to help us. They didn't know that we were neurodivergent. So like we have these talents and abilities that, allow us to be super creative and be super intelligent. And, these talents allow us to do so much. But the problem is like we haven't been trained how to use these. So like we are just kind of existing the way that other people have told us to exist, but like we're not able to do that because we have this other ability that's just kind of always there, like alive within us, whether we want it to be or not. And then the other aspect is like we haven't been trained how to utilize this ability. And because we haven't been trained how to utilize this. It's just kind of running rampant within our mind. It's leading to overthinking, making assumptions, and like, having all of these endless thoughts within our mind 24/7. And I could be wrong about this, but I think people that are not neurodivergent are not looking at things this deeply. They are not chronic overthinkers. They are not, like branching off into all of the different possibilities that exist. But like us as neurodivergent, that's the way that we operate. And I think the thing that could help is really getting help with this. First of all, recognizing that, if you struggle with mental health and you fall under the categories of ADHD, autism, could be complex PTSD, there's so many others like bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. If you struggle with like dissociation, it could just be the fact that you experience things deeply than other people, and you just have not been around folks that, have recognized that and helped you develop. Like imagine being a child born into a family where you're just so different and you're super emotional and you're super overwhelmed and anxious a lot of the time, but like, your parents and your caretakers just don't understand how to help you because this is foreign to them. They don't understand. They only understand operating in a certain kind of way, and now like there's this like magical child that's come into their life that they don't understand. So naturally, like, they're gonna want you to be like them because that's what they kind of expect, and that they've been raised into a world where there's certain expectations on how people should be. So like there hasn't really been any branches within the world that support, like people that are neurodivergent and that operate in a certain kind of way. I think there is the outlier where, neurodivergent people are born into families that understand them, that are emotionally mature and recognize, okay, my child is different. And rather than trying to make them who I want them to be and make them who society wants them to be, we're going to recognize that they're different and get them help, whether it's through therapy or coaching or whatever other means. And like, I think those folks are probably better off because they've developed these talents that exist within them. But there's a lot of us out there that struggle and like haven't gotten the help and don't even understand what's quote unquote wrong with us. And my intention with this video is to reach out to those folks and just to let you know, like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I would say trying to become what other people want you to be is not the solution. So for me, like, I've tried to fit into social circles endlessly. I've tried to be more productive at like my job endlessly. I've tried to just get more done and push through it and hope that eventually I will be satisfied and like, I'll achieve stability and finally feel good and, be able to fit in and not feel so crappy all the time. But it's never worked. And like, I'm on this path where I'm beginning to realize, okay, like, maybe I'm not supposed to be like other people, but instead I'm supposed to carve out my own way. And, I've been, in therapy the past few years, and I've been really working on understanding, like, what is this, like, endless, anxiety and chaos and all of this stuff that's always bubbling inside of me. And I'm just kind of beginning to understand that I guess I'm different than a lot of the people around me. And I'm beginning to come to terms with the fact that I can't be like other people. And, I want to convey that same message to you as well. Like, you're a special person and you are the way that you are for a reason. It's with purpose and it's intentional. And once you begin to just accept that as possibly being the truth, you can begin to allow, this stuff that lives inside of you that, you might feel like torments you and makes you different than other people. You can begin to, actually start to look at that as a beautiful thing and not so much a curse. And when you do that, you can kind of allow the beauty of these talents in and like recognize, like, okay, like, maybe I'm not supposed to do like, an ordinary 9 to 5. Maybe I am supposed to be super, super creative in this kind of way, even if people have like shot you down and said that's not the right path. Maybe it is the right path. Like, all of those things inside of you that have been continuously trying to get your attention, like maybe that's the direction that you need to head in. So I just want to close by saying, as a person with mental health struggles, whether you fall into the category of neurodivergency or not, or you're unsure about these things, just try to consider that rather than trying to change the way that you are to fit in, maybe what will help you be the happiest in life is accepting that these differences about you are what give you the beauty of who you uniquely are. And once you begin to actually accept those things and open the door and allow them into your life, that's when you can begin to change life around you and step into a better chapter of your life where you actually allow yourself to be the person that you are, and stop letting other people put you in these boxes that you can't even fit in the first place. I really hope that helps someone, and I wish you all the best. God bless. Take care.